What's up guys, how's it going? So today I kind of want to go through how to make money once you've completed all of the available sign-up offers from the bookies. Now I personally know that this can be a bit of a minefield, transitioning from them sign-up offers to what we call reload offers. Now reload offers are the offers that bookies dish out to existing customers as a way of keeping you betting with them, so basically just trying to keep your custom. Now these aren't as lucrative as sign-up offers, but there's absolutely tons of them, which means you can just stack the offers, completing as many offers as you can in order to make that good monthly consistent profits. Now they are very different to the style of offers that you're used to in the sign-ups. This is where, as I've mentioned in previous videos, that you need to learn and adapt rather than pushing aside these offers just because you're not familiar with them. If you do learn and adapt, you should make the good money. Now, the offers kind of fall under 4 brackets, which I've got outlined up here. These are risk-free with guaranteed profits, risk-free with not guaranteed profits, not risk-free and not guaranteed profits, and kind of a miscellaneous bracket. Now, a quick disclaimer, when I say risk-free, I mean that you don't stand to lose any money by completing the offer. However, I can't take personal responsibility for any losses that you make because of, say, making a mistake, for example, or by any other means. Now, with that said, let's go through what's up here. Right, so let's start up here with the risk-free and guaranteed profit offers. The first up we've got is Bet X and Get Y. You should be very familiar with this kind of offer as they form the bulk of the sign-up offers. It's your standard bet £10 and get a £10 free bet, making a profit from that free bet. Now, in the reload section, sometimes you are required to place either your qualifying bet or your free bet or both in play, so whilst an event is happening. I recommend choosing an event where there's a break in play, so for example half-time at a football match. The reason for this is that the odds will tend to stabilise at half-time, and therefore you won't be caught out by any odds that fluctuate whilst the game's actually happening. The next kind of bet offer that we've got is Bet X and Get Y if. Now I've added if because sometimes you are required to place your qualifying bet, but then you only get your free bet if a certain trigger happens during the game. So for example, bet £10 and if a certain player scores, get a £10 free bet. Now you're probably wondering why this doesn't end up in this section here, so the not risk-free and not guaranteed profit offers, and you're absolutely right, it does also belong down there. However, sometimes, depending on what the trigger is, we can lock in or guarantee a small amount of profit prior to the game happening, and no matter whether the trigger occurs or not. Therefore, it's ended up here as well. Next up, we've got price boosts, which are some of my favourite things to do. So this is when a bookie artificially boosts the odds of a certain selection to kind of encourage people to bet on this certain market. Now if these odds are boosted above the exchange odds, then we can instantly back and lay this to make a good profit. Now these are only worth like £1 or 2 each time, sometimes more, but they're quite rare. But they're easy to do, they take seconds to do, and you can get 10 done in about 15 minutes I reckon. So if you think about all them pounds adding up, you will end up making a good profit by doing as many of these as you can. Next we've got weekly Bet and Get clubs. This is kind of similar to the Bet X and Get Y, however this time you are required to place a certain amount of bets throughout a set period of time. So for example, from Monday to Sunday, place at least £50 worth of bets, and then on the following week you'll get a £10 free bet where you'll make your profits. Here you need to keep your qualifying losses low in order to maximise the amount of profit that you can make. And then the last one on here is an odds boost, which is very similar to a price boost, however this time the power is kind of in your hands. So bookies sometimes dish out like an odds boost token. So you can apply this to either any selection of your choice, or sometimes they kind of narrow it down to say just horse racing or just football. So what you do is you find a selection that meets the terms and conditions of the token, and then you make sure that the odds here are similar or close to the lay odds on the betting exchange. And if they are, that's great, you can use your token to kind of boost the back bet odds. And if they are above the lay bet odds, again you can just back and lay for instant profits. Okay, so next up is the risk-free and not guaranteed profit section. I'm pretty conscious there's a bit of light going on up here. You can't see a lot, however there's only one item here, so I'm just going to go through it quickly. And this is casinos. So sometimes casinos are very generous, which is a bit of an oxymoron, but sometimes they like to give out some free spins on slot games. Now these will be probably low value spins on a slot machine game that you've never heard of. However, they're free, so you might as well give this a go. Sometimes you are allowed to walk away with the winnings, which is absolutely fantastic. I know some people who have won actually quite big from just a couple of free spins. But sometimes you need to wager the winnings. And what I mean by wager the winnings is if I won £1 from the free spins and I had to wager my winnings 10 times, I'd have to play £10 worth of spins from this £1. Obviously I might lose, but that's absolutely fine because I've not put any of my own money into this. But sometimes you might win, and once you've done that 10 times worth of wagering, you can walk away with what you're left with. And the next one is a 100% refund. So sometimes casinos say, hey, come and play on this certain game, or sometimes they let you play on any game, and we'll give you losses back up to £10, for example. So what you do is you go on and you keep playing until one, you make enough profit that you're happy with, or two, you lose the lot. And that way you'll get your £10 back. So you either end up in a nice profit or you end up with your money back, so it's a win-win situation. Right, next up I'm going to talk about the not risk-free and not guaranteed profit section. Now you might be thinking, so if it's not risk-free and it's not guaranteed, can I lose money here? And the answer is yes, you can make a few qualifying losses here with no reward at the end. However, this operates on something called house edge, which you've probably heard before. The house edge normally sits with a bookie or casino, and it means that they've basically got some sort of advantage over the punter. However, when we do offers that are worth doing, it puts the house edge from the bookie's park, for example, into our park. So now we have the advantage. Yes, we might lose a few offers, but we're going to win more than we lose and end up in profit in the long run. The key here is to keep your losses low and to complete as many offers as you can, and you will make good profit in the long term. So first up, we have the bet X and get Y if that we saw from up in this section here. The reason it's down here as well is because sometimes, depending on what the trigger is, we can't lock in or guarantee a profit no matter what happens. So an example trigger could be, for example, bet £10 and if your horse finishes second, get a £10 free bet. So what we do here is we just place our qualifying bet and make sure that we keep the loss low, and then hope that our horse finishes second, and then we get our free bet if it does. If it doesn't, we just carry on completing it until we do. Next up we've got bet X and get Y per. So this is, for example, bet £10 and get a £1 free bet per goal scored in a football match, for example. So again, you keep your qualifying loss low, and you hope that a load of goals are scored in the match, and then you get your free bet, and you turn that into your profits. Next, we have extra places. This is quite advanced, and I will go through this in another video. But however, just quickly to summarise this, those familiar with horse racing will be aware that you can have two kind of bets when you're betting on horses. You can have the standard bet, which is just to finish first, but you can also have a place bet, which means you will also win if your horse finishes second or third, for example. However, it won't be as much as if your horse finished first. Now, this is advantageous to us when the bookies increase the amount of places that they have on a race, which is normally at a big event. So, for example, if the bookie extended their places to 4th, 5th and 6th, however, the exchange stayed at 1, 2 and 3, this would mean that we can make some big profits if our horse finished in that extra place, so in 4th, 5th or 6th. Because our back bet would win, because it's finished in them extra places. However, our lay bet would also win, because it didn't finish within the 1st, 2nd or 3rd place. Now this is open to huge potential, so it's only limited by the amount of money that you can afford to kind of throw at it. So you can place as many bets as you like, as much money as you like, within the limits of your bank. So therefore, for those with a big bank, you can really get some serious big profits out of this. Like I said, I will go into more detail in a separate video, however that's kind of out of the remit of this current tutorial that we're doing right now. Next up we have the unlimited refunds or early payout offers. These are similar to extra places in that the winning potentials are unlimited and only capped by the amount of money that you have to throw at the offer. So this time we are placing our back bet, and if a certain trigger occurs, the bookie pays us out as a winner even though the event hasn't finished yet. Now this is great because we can profit in one of two ways. One, we can cash out our lay bet instantly for a profit. This will be a smaller profit than the next method that I'm going to talk about. However, it's more consistent over time that you complete this offer. The second method, you profit by waiting to see if the back bet loses. If the back bet loses, you've already got your payout from the bookie, and then you also win on the betting exchange. That results in a massive win. However, obviously it's not going to happen every time, therefore it's less consistent than the first method. I personally believe that over time this equals out whether you choose method 1 or method 2, so I recommend just picking one of the methods and sticking to it. The next is casino. Some people see this as gambling, but again we need to go back to that house edge scenario. So if an offer is posted on Profit Accumulator, you know it's going to be worth doing, and therefore the house edge is in your ballpark, so therefore you need to be completing these offers to supplement your profits month on month. So for example, you can get wager X and get Y. So for example, wager £10 and Y can be either cash, free spins, a free bet, or a bonus. Sometimes you might have to wager the cash, the free spins, or the bonus. Sometimes you might have to wager the free bet, but it's still worth doing in the long run. You can also have bet X and get free spins or bonuses. So bet £10 and get, I don't know, a £5 bonus that you need to wager 5 times. And you can also get deposit X and get Y with wagering. So you would deposit, say, £100, and Y could be a 100% match of your deposit. So deposit £100, get £100 with 20 times wagering. This might seem improbable that you'll be able to wager through it 20 times, but sometimes these offers are worth doing, and you've got to think about that house edge. Next are ACCAs. I do actually have a separate video on here, which I'll link up here somewhere. So I'm not going to go into these here, you can go and watch that video instead. And then we've got something called advantage play, and this is when, it's a little bit different. It's when basically you have an offer to place a back bet, but there's no existing lay bet on the exchange to match your bet. So the way we profit from this, for example, is you can say have bet £10 on sports or on virtual sports where there's no matching lay bet, and get a £10 free bet if it loses. So if the bet wins, that's great, you're in profit. If it loses, you get a £10 free bet and you can recover 80% of your losses that you've made. Therefore, over time, you should profit from this. And you can also get it in the casino where they say wager £10 on roulette, for example, and get 50% refund. Again, this puts the house edge in your ballpark and is therefore profitable in the long run. So the last section is the miscellaneous section. So here we have bonus games and bonus wheels. These are just like little side games that you can find within bookies and casinos. They are risk-free to take part in, however, the reward that you get from it might not be risk-free. So risk-free rewards, for example, can be free spins or bingo, similar to this section up here. The not risk-free rewards are, say, wager X, get Y, or get a 20% refund on losses. Now, sometimes these might be worth doing, sometimes they might not be worth doing. If you're not sure, you can always go onto Profit Accumulator on the forum section and tag the administrators, and they'll be more than happy to have a look at the offers for you and tell you whether it's worth doing. You won't always win on these, sometimes they're pretty poor, to be honest. However, they take a couple of minutes to do, and you never know what's going to happen, so they are definitely worth giving a couple of minutes of your time per day to get these done. Next, you've got email. So a lot of bookies email out offers. I've mentioned this previously on my Facebook page, and sometimes these offers are absolute gold mines. So when you sign up to the bookies, make sure that you tick yes to their marketing, so that they do send you the emails. And again, if you don't know whether an offer is risk-free or worth doing, tag the administrators in the forum and they'll let you know. Free competitions and games. These are very, I don't know the best way to say this, improbable of winning. So they will get you to predict, for example, the results of 10 football matches in one day, and the likelihood of doing that is quite low, but the rewards are absolutely massive. So therefore, just take a couple of minutes to do it. You never know when you might win. There have been stories of people on Profit Accumulator who have won, so it's definitely worth doing this every week. The last one down here is loyalty rewards, and this is kind of, as you bet with bookies or you wager on casinos, they'll give you like loyalty points, and these can sometimes be exchanged for rewards like free bets and casino bonuses, so these are definitely worth keeping an eye on as well. And then I've just got one little note to say that some of these offers that are listed on this entire board can also be done in store. So if you do live near a store that's don't know, down the high street or something, it's worth going in there and seeing if they've got some of the offers as well. It can be quite daunting to go into a bookie, but once you've done it once or twice, you get used to it. So a really big tip for you guys, you need to be prioritising the offers that you do, especially if you have a limited amount of money to throw towards match betting. So you need to start up here with the risk-free and guaranteed offers. This is because, well, it's risk-free and guaranteed, so why wouldn't you start here? It allows you to build up your profits and build up the match betting bank that you have available to complete other offers. Supplement this with the risk-free and not guaranteed offers, as it doesn't cost you anything, and then you can move on to the not risk-free and not guaranteed profit offers, as you have more money to fall back on that you've made up here. Then you can fit around this the miscellaneous offers just to supplement even further. Profit Accumulator source all of the available offers from the bookies and kind of store them into one place for you and provide instructions on how to complete them. It saves you a lot of time going out there and looking on all the bookies' websites and figuring out whether something's worth it or not. So it's definitely worth a small fee per month. If you want a trial to Profit Accumulator, you can get that through the link below. And they also have the forum, which will be your best friend throughout your match betting career, as you can go on there and speak to any other match bettors or even the admin team who are always willing to help you out. Now I appreciate that my handwriting isn't the best and that this video isn't quite clear, so I've taken up the liberty of writing this up in document format, and you can find that on my Facebook group. So I'm not going to ask you to provide me with an email address. All you need to do is join my Facebook group in the link below and you'll get access to this in document format. So as always, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video and it's been helpful. If it has, please do give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.